Hey guys, good afternoon. Flamengo greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. I'm speaking quietly and close to the mic because Otinho is sleeping. Some may say it's too low, but that's what we have for today, okay? So if you're just joining us, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below. Turn on notifications by clicking the bell and drop a like on the video. We're here. And remember that you can get the amazing product right now, Exomas from Mais Cabello. Man, you can use it for some unbelievable treatments. There's also a Mais Cabello near you, all over Brazil. There's always a Mais Cabello clinic close to you everywhere in the country. By the way, before my sister goes back to Brazil, she has to try Exomas with me. I'm going to do it. Stay tuned to my Instagram stories. We're going to do it today here in Rio. We're doing the Exomas treatment on Instagram stories today, okay? I'll show you there, so stay tuned. And also weight loss with Mais Cabello. The Mais Slim program from Mais Cabello, it's spectacular, okay? Not only did I lose weight, I've kept it off, man. I lost a lot, right? I reached pretty much the weight I wanted. I even lost a little more. But since I don't want to get into that crazy diet thing and all, I'm just maintaining my weight and doing fine. When I get there, it's been 2 months now that I want to really push myself. Then I get ready for that, you know? More time to work out and all. I get ready and lose a bit more weight. But man, it's amazing for maintenance, for losing weight. So it's really worth it. And I can't forget to remind you that if you're going to travel and want a serious company, man, do you know what it's like to get messages every day from people thanking me for recommending Caravana do Aruldo? It's a company that's not huge. It's not one of those companies with an office in the mall, nothing like that. It's a family business. He's a good guy who does serious work, who serves a certain number of people, who doesn't want to take on the whole world. He does very serious work, and there are no complaints, only praise. I'm very happy to work like this. You know, he doesn't want to fill 10 or 15 planes. No, he has his quota of tickets, of packages we advertise, and people, it's just praise. So Caravana do Haroldo, in fact, he has a certain number of tickets at Maracanã. For every game, you can get the hospitality package with a ticket included. So man, who else is going to have the option to book a trip to Rio de Janeiro, a package with tours with everything and Maracanã included? So it's a premium section, right? Just look for Caravana do Haroldo, also outside Brazil for the Champions League. He's doing that now too. There are only a few spots available, so you should look for it as soon as possible. It will be in the pinned comment and in the description, just like Mais Cabello as well. Guys, let's go. I'm going to talk here about this situation that was exposed here. About Luiz Henrique, the news from Pilhado yesterday hit like a bombshell. We reported Flamengo's interest in Luiz Henrique and their inquiries, highlighted the high price, and then Pilhado revealed the amount. Zenit wants 50 million euros for Luiz Henrique, and we featured Rodrigo Flamidia here. He published an article that's going viral with a lot of comments. I'm going to bring the comments from the people talking about Luiz Henrique's career, whether it's worth paying 50 million euros for Luiz Henrique. Yeah. And then he exposed it here. At Fluminense, Luiz Henrique played 120 matches, scored 14 goals, and had 14 assists, totaling 28 direct goal involvements in 120 games. Those are very low numbers, but I'll say here that Luiz Henrique has the intensity factor. He knows how to play without the ball, all of that. Honestly, to me, he's a fantastic player. I'll say that right away. I think he's amazing, but the numbers are really low, okay? At Real Betis, he played 64 matches, scored 4 goals, and had 10 assists, totaling 14 direct goal involvements in 64 games, so the average of goal involvements remains very low. Then we have Botafogo. Well, at Botafogo, he really took off. At Botafogo, he was outstanding. Really? It was 61 matches, 14 goals, and 6 assists. That's 20 direct goal involvements in 61 games. Brazilian champion Libertadores, okay. He was sold for 35 million euros to Zenit from Russia. Okay, so that's been his trajectory up to that point, and even at his best, he didn't reach a third. He doesn't even get a direct goal contribution in a third of the games he plays. That is, he has about 0.30 there. He averages 0.30 goal involvements per game. Very low average, 50 million euros, even though he's doing great. Brazilian national team. So let's do the following. Let's take a look here at Zenit. He's getting older, but he's aging very well. What I mean is time is passing, the player is getting older, and usually they lose value as they age. But his value went up because he raised his stock. He raised his value with titles, call-ups, and strong performances for the Brazilian national team. He's very good and represents them well. At Zenit, he played 35 matches, was signed for 35 million euros, and had 35 matches. Look, man, his average went down, guys. His average went down. At Zenit, 4 goals, 4 assists. That's 8 direct goal involvements in 35 matches. He managed to lower his average, which was already low at Botafogo. So, in the Brazilian national team, despite some good matches and a lot of praise from me, including 6 games, 1 goal, 2 assists for the national team. That's why he's being talked about so much. He has 6 matches and he was directly involved in 3 goals. So he reached 50%, 0.50 in 6 matches. In other words, he achieved a better performance than at the clubs. So he's a player who does really well in the national team. In his career, there are 253 matches, 36 goals, and 34 assists. So we have 70 goal involvements in 253 matches. His direct involvement in goals is very, very low. But that's not what determines a player's value. It's the intensity, it's what he's capable of doing on the field. Sometimes he also takes part in that first pass before the goal, but it's the last pass that's considered an assist. But he plays a crucial role in the goal, goes to the end line, dribbles, and so on. So we have to take all of that into consideration. Even so, I think the prices are extremely high, but people here say, of course, he's not worth Rafael Barroso. Thank you. Ismael, for a guy to be a striker, have almost 250 games in his career and not even have 40 goals, those seem like numbers for a defensive midfielder. But I'll say it again, he has other aspects where he does really well, so we can't use that as the only parameter. What is it? My wife is saying it has to be. If he's a striker, Alberto Pereira, GXP. I thought this comment was so good, really so good, because it shows exactly this. If this guy's worth 50 million euros today, with these numbers, just imagine how much Ronaldinho Gaucho would be worth today. At this guy's age, how much would Ronaldinho Gaucho be worth? $1 billion? Why? Thank you. Ronaldinho Gaucho, even in his final moments on the field, man, it was like, damn. He showed it. These guys don't exist anymore. They just don't. Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Fenomeno, Romario. Yesterday I was watching a video of Romario, my friend. I was impressed. He would do like 3 or 4 lobs. No, I saw a play of his where he did 3 or 4 lobs in the same play against 4 different players. My God, he would finish and score the goal. He did the elastico dribble like no one else in the world could do. So, man, Romario, those guys, Zico, Messi. Today we still have Messi. I was impressed at the Messi game I went to against Orlando City. We still have Cristiano Ronaldo, and for me, Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest of all time. I also don't know why some people don't like the guy. I'll tell you, he's an example. He's a machine, a real machine. He built his physique, but he made himself great. It doesn't matter what happened. He became that, and besides, he's a great example. That moment when he took the soda off the table and put water instead, drank some water, that was amazing. That was sensational. He knows he's a role model for the kids. He really is. Bruno Rice sent this here. Zenit has already figured out the formula. They buy the standout players from here that the big European clubs aren't after for 20, 25 million euros. But in this case, it was 35 million euros. Then they sell for double because they know there are clubs in Brazil that can pay. That's right. That's what they do. They take them there, sell for nearly double, and have already made a lot of money. Juninho said here that he doesn't even deserve to be on the national team, man, but he actually does really well on the national team. That's what I keep telling you guys. He has other aspects of his game that are really good. I understand all the criticism, but I also agree that it's not worth paying 50 million euros. You can find players in European football who can perform really well. And man, you can get a player whose contract is ending who will be available for free. There are players out there, man. Look, someone reminded me the other day. I don't know what you guys think. Lukaku. Boy, look, Lukaku. Man, he would fly. He would stand out in Brazil, right? There are players out there. If you're going to bring in an expensive player, bring in a guy like that, man, at the end of his career, right? Yeah. Guys know it's better to invest in the stadium. Then there are some who say it's worth it, just pay. But most people, he's worth 30 million euros more than that. I think it's crazy. He's not worth all that, but he's a really good player. He's worth at most 40 million euros, right? Now, we also have the situation where Flamengo already spent 42 million euros on Paquetá, and a lot of people said it wouldn't be worth it. And now Paquetá is killing it, flying, and he's going to the World Cup, huh? For the World Cup, Paquetá is doing really well, man. I didn't expect him to adapt so quickly to Brazil again, to play so well so fast. Speaking of the World Cup, look, my friends, another player is out of the World Cup, okay? Yeah. I saw some comments about Estevão, and now there's another player besides Estevão. Estevão, man, when he left Palmeiras, he didn't have all these injuries, and you know what people are saying, man. Before getting into this topic here, let me bring up this new player who ends up helping, right? In this case, a Flamengo player. Guys, I saw an article about Estevão and why he's having so many muscle injuries. He gained almost 10 kilos of muscle mass since he arrived in Europe, and they're saying that the club itself might have made things worse in that regard. He gained muscle and weight quickly, and now he's getting injured repeatedly. I don't fully understand it, but I think it's possible. Someone who gains a lot of muscle mass and works in sports is an athlete and uses their body for work. Yeah. Gaining a lot of muscle quickly can lead to injuries because your body isn't ready and you might get hurt repeatedly. The article discussed this. And that could have taken Estevão out of the World Cup and drastically harmed the Brazilian national team. Now, let's talk about the defense, right? Militão, right? Éder Militão is out of the World Cup, which opened up space for a possible call-up of Leo Pereira. The Brazilian national team defender will need to undergo another surgery after suffering an injury to the hamstring of his left leg. The scar from a previous injury suffered in December against Celta de Vigo ended up tearing, which practically rules out his presence in the World Cup. I feel really sad for Militão, honestly. Yeah. Obviously, we're rooting for Leo Pereira. I heard people saying that no club fan roots for their players to be called up to the World Cup, but I'm not like that. Man, I like to see the national team with several players from my team in the World Cup. I've always been like that. Yeah. It's really sad about Estevão and Éder Militão, but I have no doubt that Leo Pereira will step up and do his part very well, okay? Let me tell you that with 6 consecutive wins, coach Leonardo Jardim has matched Felipe Luis's streak and could break the record tomorrow. Look how cool that is. Flamengo keeps going strong under the leadership of Leonardo Jardim. With a 2-1 win over Vitória in the Copa do Brasil, the coach reached his 6th consecutive victory, matching Felipe Luis's record. In the year 2025, the winning streak includes results against Santos, Cusco, Fluminense, Independiente, Medellin, Bahia, and Vitória. In total, Jardim has managed 12 matches with 9 wins, 2 draws, and only 1 defeat. Now the coach has the chance to set a new record. If he beats Atlético Mineiro away from home this Sunday, he will reach 7 consecutive wins and surpass the achievement of his predecessor. The last time Flamengo achieved a winning streak was in 2024 under the command of Tite in the Campeonato Carioca. He's not even Brazilian, so guys, Leonardo Jardim's streak is spectacular. He's doing a great job at Flamengo. Yeah. Along with that, we also have Arrascaeta experiencing both physical and technical improvement at Flamengo and already responding on the field. That's 3 goals and 1 assist in the last 6 games. That's a better average than Luiz Henrique, okay? Arrascaeta in the last 6 games already surpasses Luiz Henrique's average by far. For example, we even brought up Luiz Henrique earlier in the video on this issue. His best performance in the Brazilian national team, where he directly participated in a goal in 50% of the games Arrascaeta has, just in these last 6 games, 3 goals and 1 assist. Even with the start of the season being managed by the coaching staff, the midfielder is getting more and more minutes, also driven by his technical importance. For the squad, with absences like Lucas Paquetá and Jorge Carrascal, the Uruguayan has been a key player and should continue to be relied upon in the upcoming matches. Tomorrow's challenge, we might have Arrascaeta, but we've also mentioned that Jorginho is coming back, right? The Italo-Brazilian was injured. He's already back on the roster, and now he might start. According to Renan Moura, the journalist, Renan Moura said that he might be included in the squad for this game. Jorginho, okay? So Jorginho is the guy. Flamengo already has a great squad. We see other teams signing players and all that. Many of them don't even pay, but Flamengo already has a great squad. And now, the exclusive information we're bringing to you, after talking to a source connected to Flamengo's board, I was told about a very important situation regarding possible signings. I asked about Thiago Almada, I asked about Luiz Henrique, but let's do the following. Let's listen to Bodo real quick. For those of you who didn't see it early this morning, let's see what Bodo said. We asked him, our reporter Gabriel Orfon asked him about Luiz Henrique.
Now, Boto is talking a little bit about soccer.
Yeah, about soccer. Now,
we know that some news came out about Flamengo possibly being interested in Luiz Henrique. Today, they said that Zenit is asking for a lot. So what's the situation?
do you think I'll talk about that? I'm not discussing it now. We're here to watch volleyball, not to talk about soccer, okay?
And what about Palmeiras?
I didn't even know about Palmeiras. What happened with Palmeiras?
Yeah, yesterday there were some controversial plays. The Jacuipense player was signaling that it was a goal.
Let me tell you something. In Portugal, we have a characteristic that's even reflected in our music, which is fado, and it's a lot of crying, a lot of lamenting. It's a Portuguese trait.
Man, thanks, Boto. Little jab at Palmeiras there. Boto didn't want to talk about Luiz Henrique, and we're going to talk about it here, all right? All right, the answer I got is that Leonardo Jardim had a conversation with Flamengo's board and said that he doesn't need galactic signings. He doesn't need to sign big-name players, okay? Leonardo Jardim prefers scouting. Leonardo Jardim turned to Flamengo's board and said, I prefer that you spend less and give me players that we can choose, who can develop with me and increase in value. So don't be surprised if Flamengo starts investing much more now in scouting, because Leonardo Jardim trusts Jose Boto's scouting team and company from Andri's team and Flamengo, going after names that could still make it big in football, names that even have interesting stats and could break out. Playing under coach Leonardo Jardim. So Flamengo, get ready to see Flamengo investing much more in less well-known names, names that everyone knows but less iconic, right? So Flamengo is going to go much stronger into this scouting approach, which is what Botafogo did from 2023 to 2024, right? Then they won all those titles, remembering that Botafogo even spent a good amount of money, but these players increased a lot in value with the titles they won, okay? So I think it's interesting to see Flamengo changing its recruitment profile. And Flamengo still has the situation where they might have to sell 2 players. Yes, they'll replace them and seek interesting market options. There are some names that Flamengo is already evaluating, but as I said, Boto will go more in the direction of looking for players who aren't such big name, splashy, super expensive signings. I'll take this opportunity to bring up this data that I gathered, right? And they managed to do it, right? It's going to be Rafael Klein, right, in the game, right? Rafael Rodrigo Klein is going to referee, the one who sent Carrascal off in the second half of the Supercopa. So I think it's interesting for us to bring this up here. Do you guys believe that Palmeiras commits way more fouls than Flamengo in the Brazilian Championship? They practically don't get any cards. They don't get any cards, okay? Flamengo is first in red cards, so even that scouting approach isn't working so well, right? Because Flamengo is the first club in red cards and Palmeiras is 15th, so they're satisfied, right? And red cards. Flamengo is second, it's not helping. Palmeiras is 11th in penalties committed. Flamengo is 6th, Palmeiras is 20th. It's the team with the fewest penalties called against them. Look how crazy that is. 0. That's right, Paparazzo. Zero. Palmeiras has 0 penalties called against them. The only one that was called was canceled in that last game, right? And then it's unbelievable, unbelievable Flamengo. Look, there's Flamengo, okay? Cards for Flamengo's opponents. Flamengo's in 12th place, so way back, Flamengo's in the lower half. Their opponents practically don't get yellow cards, okay? In 10th, Flamengo is in 10th place. When it comes to red cards, Flamengo's opponents also get fewer red cards. They get sent off less, while Palmeiras is 3rd in yellow cards for opponents and 4th in red cards. It's surreal, right, my brothers? It's surreal. There are no penalties called against them. They're 3rd and 4th among the teams whose opponents get the most cards. Are you satisfied? This is the truth Abel wanted us to discuss. Please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe, enable notifications, and like the video. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Thanks. Bye.